Ever notice how in Pulp Fiction, Vincent keeps getting in deep trouble every time he hits the restroom? Talk about terrible timing. His breaks aren't just reoccurring gags, they're veritable countdowns to disaster. While most of us might stress over leaving our phone behind, he should be worrying about leaving his life on the line. At first glance, his urgent visits might seem nothing special, but trust me, they build into something major. Early in the flick, he steps away at Mia and Marsellus' place. Before you know it, Mia's rifling through his jacket and discovering his stash. A find that goes south real quick when she mistakes it for coke and overdoses. The pattern continues. During the diner scene, while he's handling his business, Pumpkin and Honey Bunny decide it's the perfect moment to rob the joint. And then the scene at Butch's apartment. This is where things get really interesting, so listen up. Most casual viewers don't catch this, but he wasn't operating alone at Butch's place. He was there in tandem with Marsellus Wallace. Yeah, that's right, the boss himself was part of this stakeout. The movie doesn't show them together in the apartment, which is why it blows people's minds when they finally connect the dots. So here's the thing about Marsellus being at Butch's apartment. It's actually pretty obvious when you think about it, but a lot of people miss it. Remember that scene when Butch is heading back to his place and literally bumps into Marsellus on the street? Pay attention to what Marsellus is carrying. 2 cups of coffee. Not 1, but 2. That's the dead giveaway right there. Marsellus wasn't just randomly in the neighborhood with an extra coffee. He was bringing that second cup back for Vincent, who was waiting at Butch's apartment. It makes perfect sense. Tarantino is way too deliberate with his details for this to be a coincidence. This little detail completely changes how we should understand that whole situation. Vincent wasn't foolishly hanging out alone in Butch's apartment. He was part of a coordinated stakeout with his boss. Marsellus just stepped out for a coffee run while Vincent stayed behind to keep watch. Classic partner situation, right? One goes for refreshments while the other holds down the fort. When you realize this, it makes what happens next even more tragic. Vincent wasn't being careless in some random break-in. He was actually on a job with the big boss himself, who just happened to step out at exactly the wrong moment. Now you might wonder why Marsellus Wallace would fetch coffee for his hitman. Their relationship explains it. Vincent isn't just an employee, he's practically family. He gets a warm bear hug from the boss himself. After what happened with the previous babysitter, Marsellus still trusted Vincent to take care of Mia. These actions show a bond beyond the typical crime boss-enforcer dynamic, making what happens next significant. While Marsellus is gone, Vincent hits the bathroom. Butch sneaks back for his father's watch. Entering his apartment cautiously, Butch discovers a Mac 11 submachine gun on the counter. This wasn't Butch's weapon, nor Vincent's signature 1911 pistol. It belonged to Marsellus. The Mac 11, a spray and pray weapon for close-quarter combat, shows Wallace expected a fight. Meanwhile, Vincent overlooked basic security. As Butch examines the weapon, he hears the toilet flush. The sound is crucial. Vincent makes no effort to be quiet because he's not expecting trouble. He assumes the person he hears in the apartment is just Marsellus, returning with coffee. When Vincent steps out of the bathroom and sees Butch holding the gun, he doesn't react. For once, he's not the hunter, he's the prey. His arrogance melts into silent resignation. This moment of paralysis speaks volumes about Vincent's character. Despite being a professional hitman, he lacks situational awareness. He made himself vulnerable in enemy territory by thinking he was in a secure situation. The bathroom, that private space where we all let our guard down, becomes his ultimate downfall. The timing Tarantino uses here is masterful. Just as Vincent emerges from the bathroom, those Pop-Tarts jump out of the toaster. It's like a timer counting down the final seconds of Vincent's life. Ding! Time's up. Pure Tarantino genius right there. But his breaks aren't just coincidental bad timing. They're rooted in a more insidious habit. One of the lesser-known side effects of heroin use is severe constipation, which explains why this guy spends so much time on the throne. His drug habit doesn't just bind his bowels, it blinds him to danger. At Mia's place, he leaves his heroin in plain sight, oblivious to the risk. During every crucial moment, from diner robberies to stakeouts, he lets his focus slip, mistaking luck for skill. The very substance that gives him pleasure is setting him up for disaster, isolating him in vulnerable moments where control slips away. It's deeply ironic that the book Vincent's reading in the bathroom throughout the film is Modesty Blaze, a spy novel about this brilliant, super-strategic heroine who's always 3 steps ahead of her enemies. The name itself mocks Vincent's modesty, reflects the heroine's unassuming brilliance, while Vincent is immodest, arrogant, and oblivious. Blaze ties her to Arthurian legend of wisdom and mentorship, qualities Vincent sorely lacks. He's reading about a hero who's everything he's not. Careful, strategic, always aware of her surroundings, she would never let herself get caught in a vulnerable position the way Vincent repeatedly does. Meanwhile, Vincent can't even take a bathroom break without something going catastrophically wrong. He sees himself as this cool protagonist fresh from Amsterdam, but in reality, he's just another character in Tarantino's universe destined to be discarded when his narrative purpose is served. His handling of the Butch situation perfectly demonstrates how much he underestimates the boxer. Early in the film, he dismisses Butch as just a palooka who's past his prime, not a real threat worth taking seriously. This blinds him completely to the danger Butch represents. He doesn't recognize the boxer's killer instinct or survival skills. Butch isn't some glass-jawed tomato can taking a dive for cash. He's a heavyweight survivor with the reflexes and determination to outmaneuver both Vincent and Marsellus with counterpunches they never see coming. During the whole apartment standoff, Vincent gets caught with his guard down. The bathroom scene is like watching a fighter who drops his hands at exactly the wrong moment and gets knocked out cold. Vincent's got all the appearance of a professional, but none of the ring awareness to back it up. The bathrooms are physical manifestations of Vincent's emotional detachment. They're where he retreats to escape responsibility, leaving others to clean up his messes. When he dies, it's not just because he's unarmed, it's because he's alone. Butch, meanwhile, thrives through loyalty. He risks everything for his father's watch, a symbol of lineage and commitment. Vincent, with no heirlooms or true allies, dies clutching nothing but delusions of cool. But here's the kicker. Tarantino uses bathrooms as a metaphor for Vincent's entire existence. They're where he retreats to escape reality, whether it's heroin's grip or the pressure of being Marcellus's golden boy. Yet every time he steps out, the world reminds him he's not in control. The diner bathroom hides a robbery, Mia's bathroom hides an overdose, Butch's bathroom hides his execution. It's a cycle of denial and consequence, where Vincent's illusions of control get flushed away. Looking at all the evidence, Vincent's death almost feels inevitable from the start of the film. Every bad decision, his drug habit, his carelessness with weapons, those bathroom breaks when he lets his guard down, they all lead toward that final flush. There's something darkly poetic about a hitman who survives wild gunfights only to die because nature called at the wrong time. His death isn't some glorious moment, it's almost embarrassing, caught with his defenses down in the most human of moments. Vincent isn't your typical villain with an evil master plan. He's just a flawed dude who can't get out of his own way. His fatal flaw isn't that he's evil, it's that he's human. He gets constipated from heroin. He lets his guard down and he reads pulp novels on the toilet, thinking he's untouchable while his fate is being decided elsewhere. Vincent's journey through Pulp Fiction makes us wonder if we're really calling the shots in our lives or just characters in a bigger story we can't control. His story shows that no matter how cool we think we are, we're all vulnerable to our habits and mistakes. In Tarantino's world, even something as mundane as a bathroom break can be the thread that unravels your entire existence. A reminder that in life, nobody is safe when nature calls.